This is KGW News at Sunrise.
An alleged operation that involved firearms, pills, and drug addicts. Coming up this morning on Sunrise, how a stash of ghost guns was uncovered in a Salem home. Plus,
between bills, student loans, and 2 kids in daycare, I've never been able to stop working for my second job during session.
There are 3 state representatives in Oregon who are not running for re-election. All 3 of them say the reason is simply because the job doesn't pay enough. We'll hear more from them coming up in about 5 minutes.
And we love celebrating great local businesses, and this morning is a really amazing one. So a year ago, we talked to a young woman who started up an all-organic product line for African-American hair. She found the formula, did all the herbal extractions and bottling, all after hours of her regular 9-to-5 job. Now she's going to the Grammys, and her stuff will be sold in 600 major department stores. More on her story at 5:15.
girl, you're a luck charm for her apparently after the story.
She's awesome. Yeah, we're excited.
Hey, happy Friday, everybody. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Big weekend, right? Spring starts. Spring break starts for a lot of families.
And then right after that, we've got 70 degrees in my 7-day.
Wow.
You may have to stick around for that. Let's get to the here and now, though. We'll take you out the door right now. Live scan on our radar showing dry conditions over Portland. It's possible we get a sprinkle or 2 here and there. In fact, the wide look here across northwestern Oregon, you can see maybe some in the higher terrain of Clackamas County, possibly a sprinkle in the Coast Range. But generally, much of our Friday is going to be dry. Right now, we are warmer this morning than yesterday at this time. 48 at PDX, 44 in Hillsborough, so a good 6 to 8 degrees warmer than yesterday. Even eastern Oregon, nobody terribly cold this morning. Baker City, one of the cold spots. Not that bad at 26. All right, the bus stop forecast, mostly cloudy, temperatures inching their way up towards 50 by 8 o'clock. And I've got us mostly cloudy, but generally dry today with highs getting into the upper 50s. The dry part changes tonight. Drew, there's significant rain in our forecast overnight tonight. I'll walk you through that in just a few minutes.
All right, we'll have more from Chris coming up here in just a few minutes. But right now, we want to get to our top story this half hour. It involves a Salem man who faces federal charges for allegedly running the largest ghost gun operation ever uncovered in Oregon.
Yeah, investigators say he did it all from his mother's basement. First, let's talk about what ghost guns are. They are homemade firearms without a serial number, put together from kits or materials sold without background checks. That makes them virtually untraceable. So dozens of these guns were seized, and 200 pills that investigators say contain fentanyl were also found in the house. Agents arrested 29-year-old Tyler Harnden. He's now facing federal charges, including intent to distribute and distribution of fentanyl. Investigators say he got drug addicts to buy guns for him in exchange for the pills. Neighbors were convinced something was up for a while. We spoke with one who says she watched the whole raid go down.
I knew exactly where they were going because I've watched this going on for 2 years. But I had no idea that there was like guns and stuff.
Investigators also searched the home of one of the suspect's relatives, seizing 4 gun safes containing more than 60 more guns, all belonging to Harnden. If he's convicted, he could face life in prison.
Despite a lack of interest, Portland's mayor hasn't given up on a program to hire retired police officers. At a press conference yesterday, Mayor Wheeler said the city is looking at several strategies to attract new officers. The police bureau is facing record low staffing. Officers have been leaving faster than the bureau can fill their spots. In November, the city council approved spending almost $500,000 to rehire 25 retired officers, but there really wasn't much interest. According to the police chief, of the 81 retired officers contacted, only a couple considered coming back.
Am I frustrated? No. It was one of many strategies that we're pursuing, and at this point, it hasn't worked the way we would have hoped. But that's not the only game in town. There's other strategies that we'll continue to fight to support.
The police bureau anticipates another large wave of retirements this summer. Almost 80 officers are eligible to retire. The bureau is working to encourage those veteran officers to stick around under the Retire Rehire program. If money for the program isn't used, though, PPB will return it to the city.
All right, let's get to a story we mentioned briefly at the top of the hour. It's about the salary for state lawmakers here in Oregon, which is less than $35,000 a year. And that's why some of them say they literally can't afford to run again. Pat Doris took a closer look at this issue last night on The Story.
Three powerful state representatives, Karn Power from Milwaukee, Rachel Prusak from West Lynn, and Anna Williams from Hood River, have announced they are not going to run for re-election this fall because of the low salary for state lawmakers.
Between bills, student loans, and 2 kids in daycare, I've never been able to stop working from my second job during session. So I dropped to part-time during session for my second job, which means that I work all the time. It places an enormous caregiving burden on my wife and my in-laws, because I will turn around and continue working for my primary job through the weekend to catch up.
To try and get around the low pay issue and allow younger, more diverse people to be able to serve, Oregon lawmakers considered giving themselves a pay bump to $63,500 a year. But too many lawmakers thought it looked self-serving, and the plan failed.
People got elected in the last election that really made our legislature look like Oregon looks as a whole, from age diversity, gender diversity, LGBTQ status, and racial diversity. And the challenge is keeping those folks, right? Especially the younger ones who have families, really are struggling to figure out how to make it work.
The lawmakers told us it's a blast to run for election the first time, get elected and serve. By the second election, they start to feel the financial strain, and now it's just too much. And that is too bad for all of us.
Let's get to some more of your Friday headlines. We start in Washington, where Governor Jay Inslee signed a bill to protect abortion rights there. It is a direct response to other states, most recently Idaho and Texas, that have passed restrictive abortion laws. In the case of Texas, their law goes as far as allowing private citizens to sue abortion providers or anyone who helps a woman get an abortion after just 6 weeks. The new Washington law will protect women and abortion providers from lawsuits. It takes effect in June. An update on that 2020 fire that destroyed an Oregon City paper mill. A judge found Enrique Mejia guilty on several charges, including arson. Witnesses say they saw him throwing furniture from a window of the vacant Blue Heron Mill before the fire started. Police arrested Mejia while the fire was being put out. That mill has been closed since 2011. The U of O upping their tuition for the incoming class of students. So new in-state students will pay 4.5% more. New out-of-state students will pay 3% more. This starts in the summer and goes through spring of next year. The university says things like salary increases, health insurance costs, and unprecedented staff vacancies are behind the tuition increase. And those are a few of your quick Friday headlines.
Well, day one of March Madness is in the books. I don't know about you guys, but our bracket is busted after Kentucky and Iowa lost. What? Better luck for you guys at home, I'm hoping. How's your bracket doing?
I think this is the 10th year in a row where I have not filled out a bracket. It's kind of sad, actually. I always say I'm going to fill out my bracket tomorrow, meaning Monday. And then next thing I know, it's Thursday. The first games have tipped off, and I still have a blank bracket. This isn't about us, though. This is about the fact that Portland is hosting games this year. The Moda Center played host to 4 first-round games yesterday. Orlando Sanchez was there to catch up with some fans and take in some of the action.
Day one of the madness is complete. The NCAA tournament invading the Rose City, Portland, one of the host sites for the first and second rounds of the NCAA tournament. 8 teams here, 4 games complete on day one. That meant basketball for breakfast, lunch, and dinner here at the Moda Center. The first time being a host site since 2015, fans at full force, something that was missing in last year's tournament around the country. And this was the vibe at 10 a.m. on a Thursday morning.
We drove 10.5 hours to get here.
Gonzaga! First, we're going to win this game. Next, we're going to win the national championship.
All the way, baby. This is just the start.
Memphis, Penny Hardaway, coach. Let's go.
Yeah, we got to go Memphis today.
Let's go Tigers!
Go Tigers.
Divided loyalty. We went to IU. We met at Indiana. Our daughter is at UCLA. So if they win, they'll play each other, and then it'll be hard to decide.
Georgia State upset. I'm calling it now. Gonzaga's going down.
Bold call, but that dude's bracket busted. Moda Center popping, Bulldogs fans dominating with cheers. Gonzaga, the top overall seed of the tournament, and the favorites to win it all. After a first half scare, they took care of Georgia State, winning 93-72. Drew Timme led the way with 32 points. Chet Holmgren added 19 and 17 rebounds. The Zags crediting the 14,000 in attendance for giving them a lift. So the Bulldogs advance to the round of 32, where they'll take on the Memphis Tigers here at Moda Center on Saturday. Now, the highlight of the day had to come from the Indiana cheerleaders. The ball got stuck on the top of the backboard. The referee came out, used a broom to try and pop the basketball loose. That didn't work, so the cheerleading team lifted one of the cheerleaders above the backboard to pull the ball and resume play against St. Mary's. Back to you.
I think that was the best part of the games yesterday. This was not a good part of the games yesterday at Moda Center.
God.
So check out the lines in front of the arena. There were hundreds of fans waiting outside as the games were getting underway. A lot of those fans said they wound up missing a big chunk of the game. So we reached out to the Motor Center. We tried to figure out what the heck went wrong here, and we wanted to know if they're going to handle things differently tomorrow.
I can tell you what went wrong.
Please do, Nina Melhoff.
So the last couple of games that I've been to, they don't do, like printed tickets anymore. It's on your phone. They tell you to bump up the contrast on your phone, and there's no human person there with a scanner anymore. It's like a little stand, and you have to find the magic angle for it to scan. And we're sitting there, it's blocking up. That's exactly what's going on.
It takes 10 times
cannot
long to
scan
get
your
one
ticket.
person in the door as it used to.
So those scanners are literally outside the arena?
They're, where you go through the metal detectors? It's like 10 feet beyond the metal detector, where they would normally be scanning your ticket, and you walk onto the concourse.
So let's say I'm struggling with this, and I'm literally holding up the line. I can't get it to work. What keeps me from just going, well, I'm already in?
I don't know. I say just do it, because people are missing, like half the whole game.
When are they supposed to get back to us officially?
I don't know, but this has been going on for every Blazer game as well.
8:32 a.m.
Right, I don't know. Fired up.
Yeah, they need to change that.
Chris, what do you have for us weather-wise?
Get live early for the next
Very
game.
early,
All right,
yeah.
let's get you to your weekend forecast. Take you right to the weather wall here. That's a pretty sunrise, right? No, we're not going to have one of those today. It's going to be pretty cloudy and a fairly wet weekend as well. So here's the deal with today. Today's going to be a mostly dry day, but significant rain comes in overnight tonight, and that will linger into the first part of Saturday. So that's day one of our weekend. Spring, of course, arrives on Sunday with showers and sun breaks, and it's going to be a relatively cool weekend as well, with daytime highs in the low 50s. Here's the setup across the area. Of course, we had the sprinkles last night. Those are mostly out of here, but there's still a big slug of moisture here offshore, and that's going to work its way onshore late this afternoon and tonight. So we'll walk you through the day with Futurecast. Again, most of our Friday is dry. It's possible we start to see some sprinkles, some light rain at the Oregon coast later this afternoon. I think generally the Willamette Valley and points east will be dry for the most part today. Cloud cover, though, thickens and rain comes in overnight tonight. This is Friday at 10 o'clock. Okay, the coast is getting wet, and eventually that slug of moisture washes overhead overnight tonight and into early tomorrow. So tomorrow will start wet, but there's some hope we may finish the day with some sun breaks. Snow levels, by the way, will lower in the Cascades just a little bit in the wake of this system. All right, rainfall, not a ton, but we'll probably pick up a good quarter of an inch or better up and down the I-5 corridor throughout the weekend, and that will translate to at least some fresh snow up at the Cascade ski resorts. As far as today is concerned, temperatures in the low to mid 50s for daytime highs, maybe 59 here in Portland if we eke out any sun breaks. But get this, we go from low 50s this weekend to near 70 on Tuesday and Wednesday. I know we don't want to just bypass the weekend, but that is a forecast worth looking forward to. Spring, of course, arrives on Sunday, and we will return in just a few minutes.